The most powerful conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Not the one you post online, not the one you rehearse for the world, the one that happens when no one's watching, when it's just you and your thoughts. That voice inside your head, it's building something. Every word it whispers is a brick. Every belief is a blueprint. And every time you speak to yourself, you are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. So here's the truth. If you want to rise, to lead, to win, you must start talking like a champion. You are not alone in your head. There is a voice that narrates your life, either lifting you or limiting you. There's a voice inside you. You've heard it for as long as you can remember. It speaks when you wake up. It speaks when you doubt. It speaks when no one else does. And whether you realize it or not, it has been shaping your destiny from the very beginning. This voice doesn't shout. It whispers, quietly, persistently, like water shaping stone. Sometimes it tells you you're not ready, that you're not enough, that maybe you never were, and without even noticing it, you believe it. You make decisions based not on who you are, but on who that voice says you are. But here's the truth. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears the voice, and that means you have a choice. Most people never question the commentary playing in their minds. They wake up and go to war with the world, never realizing the battle is happening inside them first. Every fear, every hesitation, every excuse begins with a quiet sentence whispered from within. I can't. I'm not smart enough. It's too late. What if I fail? That's not the truth. That's the narrator, and that narrator can be rewritten. The most successful people you admire, whether in business, sport, art, or leadership, didn't get there on talent alone. They trained their inner voice. They built it, molded it, sharpened it until it became their greatest ally. They didn't wait to feel ready. They spoke readiness into existence. They didn't wait to feel confident. They spoke confidence before the world ever saw it, because the mind believes what it hears consistently. If your voice is filled with fear, your life will shrink to match it. If your voice is filled with faith, your life will rise to meet it. It's that simple and that powerful. So today, I ask you to pay attention. What is the voice saying when you wake up in the morning? What is it saying when you look in the mirror? What is it whispering when you're tired, uncertain, or on the edge of breakthrough? Listen closely, because your future depends on it. From this moment on, let that voice be your champion, not your critic. Speak to yourself like you would to someone you love, because you are worth that kindness. You are worth that belief. Train the voice within. Feed it truth. Speak power. And watch your entire life begin to echo the words you finally chose to believe. What you say to yourself becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you become. There is a law more powerful than luck, stronger than circumstance, and more consistent than motivation. It governs every achievement, every downfall, and every transformation you've ever known. It is the law of inner speech. Whatever you say to yourself consistently, you start to believe. And whatever you believe long enough, you begin to become. This is not philosophy. It's physics of the mind. Repetition wires the brain, and belief, once embedded, becomes action. Not because the world suddenly changes, but because you do. Tell yourself you're not good enough, and soon you'll stop reaching. Tell yourself you're not ready, and opportunity will pass you by. Tell yourself you're stuck, and you'll stay exactly where you are. But flip the script and watch your world shift. Start saying, I belong here. I am built for this. I am a force for change. Say it enough times, and the belief begins to settle in. Not on the surface, but deep beneath the layers of doubt and past disappointment. That's where real transformation begins. You see, your subconscious doesn't filter your words. It absorbs them. Every sentence you repeat becomes a blueprint, and every blueprint becomes a structure. That's why people live in prisons of their own self-talk. The walls weren't built overnight. They were whispered brick by brick. But if your words can build a prison, they can also build a palace. This is the law. Speak weakness, and you weaken. Speak strength, and you strengthen. The law does not judge, it only fulfills. Champions are not born with louder voices. They just learn to speak with intention. They repeat truth until truth replaces doubt. And they don't wait for evidence. They create it with every word they speak into their own mind. Your life will never rise higher than the voice inside your head. So ask yourself, What are you repeating? What are you rehearsing when no one is listening? Because you are listening. Always. This is why affirmations matter, not as magical words, but as mental training. You are not trying to trick yourself, you are retraining yourself. Just like a muscle, belief must be built through repetition. So speak on purpose, with precision, with power, because the voice you hear most often is your own. And if that voice becomes your greatest advocate, there is no dream too distant, no challenge too great, no mountain too high. The law of inner speech is always working. The only question is, what are you telling it to build? Most people repeat negative scripts inherited from fear, failure, or the past. It's time to rewrite yours. There is a loop that plays inside your mind, quiet, constant, and corrosive. A loop that whispers you're not enough, that you'll fail again, that your past defines you. And most people, they live inside that loop their entire lives, not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Self-doubt isn't born from truth. It's inherited from a moment, a mistake, a voice you trusted, or a failure that cut too deep. And instead of questioning it, you started repeating it. And repetition makes it feel real. But just because you've heard something 1,000 times doesn't make it true. Just because a voice is loud doesn't mean it's right. Maybe you were told as a child to be realistic. Maybe you tried once and failed publicly, painfully. Maybe someone left and you made it mean you're not worthy. Whatever the source, the message settled. And that message became your loop. Not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not ready. But here's the truth they never taught you. That voice can be changed. That loop can be broken. And it starts with one radical act. You questioning the voice. Ask it, where did you come from? Are you helping me or holding me hostage? Do you belong in the future I'm building? Because the voice of self-doubt only survives in silence. Once you shine light on it, it starts to fade. You are not the thoughts you've repeated. You are not the fears you've rehearsed. You are the author of the next line. You see, champions aren't fearless. They just stopped agreeing with fear. They stopped feeding the script and started rewriting it, line by line, with words of strength, with language of power, with belief born from choice, not history. This is your moment to do the same, to look at the old loop and say, this isn't me anymore. To interrupt the cycle with clarity, I get to decide who I become. Rewrite the script. Replace I'm not ready with I'm preparing. Swap what if I fail with what if I rise. Take I can't and burn it. Say I will and mean it, because your life is not a rerun. It is a live broadcast, new every day. And you are both the narrator and the hero. So break the loop. Speak something new. And let every word from this day forward be a tool, not a trap. The past is over. The loop is cracking, and your future is waiting on the words you choose next. Words shape your world. Train your inner dialogue with the same care an athlete trains their body. If your mind is a gym, then your words are the weights. And just like an athlete doesn't get strong by accident, you don't build a powerful life by speaking weak words. Champions understand something most people never realize. Your vocabulary is not just communication, it's construction. Every word you speak, especially to yourself, is building your reality or breaking it down. Say I'm trying, and you invite uncertainty. Say I'm doing, and you activate commitment. Say someday, and you drift. Say today, and you move. It's not just semantics, it's programming. Your brain listens to you closely, and it believes what it hears most often. Would you speak to someone you love with the same hesitation and defeat you speak to yourself? Would you look a friend in the eye and say, you're not good enough, you're probably going to fail, maybe you should give up? Then why say it to you? A champion rewrites the script. They replace I hope with I expect. They say I deserve, not in arrogance, but in alignment with their effort, discipline, and value. They don't whisper apologies for their dreams. They speak them with clarity and conviction. So here's your challenge. Curate your inner vocabulary. Eliminate the phrases that keep you small. I can't, I'm not sure, I'm just, it's too late. Replace them with the words of growth. I am learning. I am building. I am becoming. Speak as if your words are sacred, because they are. This isn't about blind positivity. It's about intentional precision. Your words are commands, and your subconscious is always listening, always obeying. If you say you're tired of losing, your brain will find ways to protect you by playing it safe. If you say you're a builder, a creator, a force for good, your brain will seek out paths to prove you right. Every champion trains their body, yes, but the best train their words. They speak to win. They declare who they are before the world catches up. And when setbacks come, and they always do, they don't curse the storm. They say, "This is shaping me. This is my resistance training. I'm getting stronger with every step." That's the power of the champion's vocabulary. It is clear, it is bold, it is true, and it does not shrink in the presence of challenge. It rises. So from this moment forward, listen to yourself closely. Audit your language. Edit your script. And if it does not build you, rewrite it until it does. Because a champion is not born from genetics. A champion is built word by word, thought by thought, until their voice becomes their power and their vocabulary becomes their victory. Your thoughts are blueprints. The stronger the vision, the more solid the results. Every building begins as an idea, a sketch, a blueprint, and so does every life. Your current reality didn't arrive by accident. It was built layer by layer through the thoughts you allowed, the beliefs you accepted, and the vision you held or failed to hold. What you see in your mind consistently becomes what you walk into physically. This is not magic. It's not mysticism. It's mechanics. The mind, when focused, becomes a creative force more powerful than any circumstance. But when scattered or neglected, it turns into a wrecking ball, destroying progress with hesitation, fear, and doubt. The mistake most people make is thinking that thoughts are just background noise. They're not. Every thought is a seed, and every seed grows. You think, "I'm not ready," often enough, and your body, your energy, your opportunities will all match that thought. You think, "I'm becoming someone unstoppable," and your posture shifts, your tone changes, and you start showing up like it's already done. The subconscious mind doesn't filter your self-talk. It doesn't ask, "Is this empowering?" It just accepts what you repeat. That's why your inner speech must become disciplined, because that speech is the ink your mind uses to draw your future. Visualize success with detail, not vague ideas, clear textured visions. What does the room look like when you achieve it? What are you wearing? Who's congratulating you? How does it feel? These details matter. The subconscious craves specificity. The clearer the picture, the harder your mind works to bring it into alignment. Think of the great innovators, builders, creators. Before any of them saw results, they saw something others couldn't. They held the blueprint long enough for it to become real. Steve Jobs saw the iPhone before the first prototype. Serena Williams saw the trophy before the match even began. Napoleon Hill wrote of burning desire and definiteness of purpose because he saw how vision alone could alter destiny. So ask yourself, what are you building? And more importantly, what mental blueprints are you carrying? Are they expansive or limiting? Are they drawn in pencil, easily erased by fear, or in ink, permanent, intentional, unshakable? You don't need the full plan. You need a clear image of where you're headed and the belief that you belong there. From this day forward, treat your mind like the architect of your future, because it is. And if you keep reinforcing the right images with the right words in the right emotional state, those walls will rise, that life will take shape, and your reality will begin to match the greatness you've held inside all along. From morning mantras to mirror affirmations, small repeated habits create massive personal momentum. The most powerful rituals in your life are often the quietest. They don't need fanfare or fireworks. They begin with a whisper, a sentence, a decision. The truth is, transformation doesn't happen in one massive leap. It happens in the moments in between. It happens when you wake up and choose your thoughts before the world chooses them for you. The moment your eyes open in the morning, your mind is listening. And if you don't speak to it with intention, the noise of yesterday, of doubt, of fear will speak for you. That's where the daily ritual begins. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need incense or silence or a mountain view. You need 5 minutes, a voice, a mirror, a message. Start with this. Today, I lead myself. Then, I am becoming the kind of person who follows through. Then, I am powerful. I am prepared. I am enough. Say it out loud, not a whisper. not just in your head, out loud. Why? Because your nervous system responds differently when it hears the voice of conviction. You're not just thinking it, you're declaring it. These declarations are not hype, they are alignment. You are aligning your energy with your identity, and once your identity locks in, behavior follows. Here's what happens when you do this every day. You begin to expect more from yourself. You catch yourself when you drift. You walk into rooms differently. You stop explaining your worth and start living it. And when life hits you, and it will, this ritual becomes your anchor. When others panic, you remember who you are. When doubt creeps in, you already planted the truth that you are capable, grounded, focused. This isn't about pretending you don't struggle. It's about reminding yourself that struggle doesn't define you. Positive self-talk isn't wishful thinking. It's psychological programming. It's training your inner voice to speak with clarity, resilience, and drive, especially when circumstances try to do the opposite, and it compounds. One day of affirming yourself, encouraging, a week, motivating, a month, life-changing, because repetition is how the mind learns. And once it learns confidence, courage, and consistency, it stops defaulting to fear. This is why the most successful people don't wait to feel inspired. They build the ritual, they speak the words, they start the day on their terms. So build yours, write your phrases, keep them by your mirror, say them while brushing your teeth, walking out the door, sitting in traffic. Let them become as normal as breathing, because when self-belief becomes your default setting, there is no situation, no setback, no storm that can steal your direction. The world may shift, circumstances may change, but your rituals keep you steady. And in that steady repetition, you build momentum. And with momentum, anything becomes possible. Repetition, emotion, intention. These are the tools that program your deeper mind for success. Your conscious thoughts are powerful. But your subconscious mind, the part that never sleeps, never stops, is what drives most of your life. It's the autopilot system behind your habits, your fears, your impulses, your patterns. And here's the part most people miss. Your subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition, emotion, and identity. That's why you can know what to do but still not do it. That's why you can want to change and yet keep repeating the same cycle. Because unless your subconscious agrees, you'll always feel like you're swimming upstream. But when your subconscious is trained, when it's aligned with your goals, you move with flow, you take action without resistance, you start attracting opportunities instead of chasing them, you operate from belief instead of fear. So how do you train it? First, repetition. Say it once and your conscious mind hears it. Say it daily and your subconscious absorbs it. The mind learns through rhythm, just like a song you didn't mean to memorize but can now recite word for word. That's how affirmations work. That's why champions visualize the win before it happens. They're not hoping, they're rehearsing. Next, emotion. Flat words don't impress your subconscious, but passion, feeling, they imprint. When you visualize success, feel it. Don't just say, I am confident. Say it like someone who just conquered fear. Say it like someone standing at the top of their mountain. That emotion tells your subconscious this matters. It becomes a signal, a command, a map. Your deeper mind begins organizing your thoughts, energy, and behavior to match it. Finally, intention. Don't affirm blindly. Speak with direction. Declare the kind of person you're becoming, the values you're committed to, the standards you refuse to lower. When your words match your vision and your vision matches your desire, your subconscious gets to work. Not with magic, but with relentless focus. Suddenly, you notice new ideas. You feel drawn to people and places that align. You take steps that feel natural, not forced. This is how it happens. It's not an accident. It's alignment. It's programming. You are not a prisoner of your past wiring. You are the programmer, the architect. And with repetition, emotion, and intention, you can rewire the deepest parts of you. So train your mind like a master. Repeat the truth. Feel the victory. Speak with purpose. Because once your subconscious believes it's possible, it won't just follow. It will lead. The world will try to tell you who you are. Your job is to decide for yourself and defend that decision. From the moment you step outside your door or open your phone, you're under attack. Not by weapons, but by words. By opinions, comparisons, distractions, labels. You're constantly being told what to believe, what to want, who to be. And unless you're intentional, those voices get inside. They shape you without permission. They plant seeds of doubt. They whisper, "You're not enough. You're not ready. You're too late." That's why defending your mind is not a passive practice. It's a daily act of war. The most successful people in history weren't the ones who avoided criticism. They were the ones who refused to let it define them. You have to decide deeply and permanently who you are, what you value, what you're building. And then you have to guard that decision like a sacred vow. Because if you don't tell yourself who you are, someone else will. Defending your mind starts with boundaries. Not just physical, but mental. You don't have to watch everything. You don't have to answer every comment. You don't have to entertain every fear that comes knocking at your door. You are allowed to filter the voices that enter your life. That includes people. That includes the media you consume. That includes the quiet but constant inner dialogue that repeats when you're tired or unsure. When that voice starts to drift into criticism, correct it. "I'm not good enough" becomes "I'm still growing, but I'm committed." I always mess this up becomes "I'm learning to do this better every time." You don't ignore reality, you reframe it through strength. This isn't fake confidence, it's mental discipline. Think of your mind as a fortress. Your beliefs are the walls. Your thoughts are the guards. Your vision is the flag flying high. If the gates are wide open to anything and everything, chaos moves in. But if you stand at the gates watchful and aware, you keep your power. Every time you say no to a toxic influence, you say yes to your future. Every time you reaffirm your identity, you fortify your foundation. It's not enough to hope for mental strength. You must train for it. Every day, build yourself up from the inside. Every day, defend your mind against noise, doubt, and distraction. Every day, remember, the world doesn't get to decide who you are. You do. And once that decision is made, you protect it with everything you've got. Because when your identity is self-defined and self-defended, no criticism can shake it, no failure can erase it, and no voice louder than your own can drown out your purpose. You can build belief just like strength. Every small victory is a rep. Every setback is part of the training. No one is born with unshakable confidence, just like no one wakes up one morning with sculpted arms or a powerful heart. Belief, true, unbreakable belief, is built. It's earned through repetition, strengthened through struggle, reinforced by action. You don't need to wait for some lightning bolt of motivation. You don't need permission from the world to believe in yourself. What you need is reps. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you build. Every time you finish what you start, you build. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you build. Belief isn't forged by shouting affirmations into a mirror once. It's developed by proving to yourself again and again that you are reliable, that you show up, that you follow through. And yes, there will be failures. You'll miss a rep, you'll fall short, you'll hesitate. But even those moments are part of the process, because belief isn't just built when things go right. It's reinforced when things go wrong, and you keep going anyway. Every setback is a training session in disguise. Every no from the world is a chance to say yes to yourself. Every moment of doubt is a doorway to deeper strength if you walk through it. You must understand, belief is not some mysterious force you either have or don't. It's a discipline. It's a choice. And like a muscle, it grows with resistance. The harder it gets, the more it demands of you, and the stronger you become. Start small. Win early. Make one promise to yourself today and keep it. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the task you started. Speak up when you normally stay silent. Every action matters. You're not waiting to feel worthy. You're proving it to yourself. The greats don't have magical confidence. They have momentum. They've stacked win after win after win until belief became second nature. It's not ego, it's earned trust. So if your confidence feels weak, don't panic. Just train, build it one rep at a time. And when you feel tired, remember this. Every rep counts. Every choice compounds. And every day you show up, you're not just getting better, you're becoming unstoppable. Because belief isn't found, it's built. Your mind can be your worst enemy or your greatest ally. Learn to silence the critic and raise the coach. There are two voices that live inside every person. The first is the critic, loud, harsh, unrelenting. It remembers every mistake, every shortcoming, every flaw. It tells you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. It doesn't whisper, it shouts. And then there's the coach, quieter at first but wise, patient, encouraging, and full of belief. It speaks not to your limits but to your potential. The difference between those who rise and those who retreat lies in which voice they train. The critic is the default. It's born of fear, shame, comparison. It sounds like your worst enemy, but it often uses the voice of people you've heard in real life, teachers, parents, strangers. It's familiar. That's why we listen to it. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's right. The inner critic has one job: to keep you safe. Not to help you grow, not to push you forward, just to keep you inside the lines, inside the box, inside the comfort zone,